He kind of surprised everybody at the job he did once he got the head coaching position in Boston. Interesting to see how Boston able to come out. A lot of times when you have travel problems, as we documented in the open, you almost play above it because you know you got to concentrate even harder and bring more energy to the game.
5 to shoot. It can be drives and a shot. He throws it down as Mark Blunt and hit the deck. Well, Canby coming off maybe his best game of the year, Scott. 13 points, 13 rebounds against Golden State. He's been doing a lot of rebounding. He had not been doing much scoring. Here's Baker. They double team him. He'll kick it outside. Pierce gets a good look at a three and drops it through. He is scary good.
Well, if Vin Baker, and you mentioned him a while ago, continues to play well, he's a guy that creates double teams on the block, and a guy like Pierce knows how to get himself open, can knock down the three when the available presents itself, or when the opportunity presents itself. So it's a good combination.
Oh, and Nene got inside and then missed the finger roll. Yuri Welsh, pretty good shooter from the Czech Republic. Here's Blunt, and it is rejected up high, but evidently with the body, Marcus Camby gets ticketed for the foul, according to Pat Frayer.
Well, I tell you what, I've seen a lot worse and a lot less called. Looked pretty good right there. I'm not sure what the official did. A lot of times an official will anticipate a foul being played.
That looked awfully good.
Well, you got a guy who's 4'11" who probably has never blocked a shot before and had his shot blocked so many times he just wants to pay Camby back a little bit. But once again, seriously, you think there's going to be contact and it happens, and you blow that whistle, now you're stuck with the call.
Blunt hits both free throws. Boston on an airplane yesterday for 7 hours, and then they had to head back home, which obviously traveling to the Boston area, they've received upwards of 1.5 feet of snow. Very difficult. And today they finally got out late in the morning. Camby fades, and he hits. Marcus Camby knocks it down. So he has the Nuggets 4 points. It's a 1-point affair, a couple minutes in.
Well, we've seen Marshawn Leonard kind of resurrect his season. The last, what, 4, 5, 6 games has been just outstanding. And maybe Camby coming back from a little injury. He's starting to feel it a little bit more offensively.
Here's Miller looking to push the tempo.
Good. If you will make the Celtics run, it may not pay off early in this game, but with all the fatigue of travel, it'll pay off before the game's over.
The shot curls. Camby offensive rebound. Marcus goes up. He was blocked. Now Camby about 17 feet. Nothing but the cords.
Wow. Who is that guy wearing number 23?
Camby does not generally shoot outside the paint. Denver up by 1, 6-5. Here's a turnaround for Vin Baker. Quick turnaround, he knocks it down. Baker last year averaged 5 points and less than 4 rebounds. Inside, good catch in the day, and then the strip by Mike James. Boston will try to run if the opportunity presents itself. Carmelo Anthony, weak side board.
Thing about Denver, tough shot by Carmelo Anthony.
But Camby's there again. Marcus Camby, 8 points in the first 3:10 of this basketball game. All 8 for the Nuggets.
He's trying to match Roshan's 26 in the first quarter a couple games ago.
He's the lowest scorer among the starters. He averages just 4.9 a game, but Camby has all 8. Remember his best year in New York, Scott, about 4 or 5 years ago. He averaged 12 points and about 12 rebounds.
Now, if he can do that for Denver, that's really, he doesn't need much more.
No,
I'm not sure he can do much
shots
more.
a night.
Well, that's a try.
Yeah, Paul Pierce skipped to the basket. Nuggets will hold on. You make a great point about fatiguing Boston, but that's the strategy for Jeff Bzdelik every night. More than anything in the first half, I mean, he wants a lead naturally, but he wants tempo because he figures it'll pay off late in the basketball game. Andre goes up and gets it.
You know, the thing that the Nuggets are going to have to fight, Miller, he's going to stick out no matter what. Good drive on James. What Denver Nuggets got to fight, because they've not been in this position in so long, is get their heads out of the newspapers. Quit watching, keep blaring those cats over on the sports report, you know, all that stuff. Stay away from that and just do what got you there, and that's play hard basketball.
There's Canby with a block. I think that's a very interesting point as well, Scott, because all of a sudden they're the darlings in Denver, and they're getting a lot of national attention.
Well, Camby's doing it on the offensive end. There he is doing it on the defensive end as well with the block shot, and I agree. And the longer they keep winning, the more attention they'll get.
Here's Carmelo running the floor. Ricky Pierce. How about Paul Pierce breaking up the long pass?
Pierce just turned around the long time. Anthony doing a great job running that far wing. Pierce just got him down the middle, turned and blindly deflected.
Ricky Pierce is out of the league now, isn't he?
Yep. Yeah. He's older than I am.
Yeah. He played Denver for a minute.
2 seconds. 1 second.
Andre Miller posted up on Mike James. The Nuggets lead at 12-9. Miller averaging 15 a game and almost 6 assists a ball game. Nuggets want to double Vin Baker. Here's Yuri Welsh shooting a 3, and he drops it through.
Denver defensively not rotating quickly. Just kind of standing and watching. Carmelo kind of got turned around.
There's Dene. He missed that time from point-blank range. His first bucket. He had 12.7 rebounds the other night in the win against Golden State. The other interesting thing about tonight is how will Boston react after blowing a 29-point third-quarter lead? I mean, that's a bunch. Loose ball foul. Which way? It'll go on Welsh. They were up by 26 at halftime. It goes down in NBA annals as one of the 5 worst blown leads in NBA history. The Nuggets once had a 34-point lead at halftime against the Utah Jazz. I remember the game well, and they ended up losing. Pierce drives, and it is a block on Nene.
Pierce gets any momentum going to the basket. You've got to either get in his way a little sooner or not. You see Nene trying to get over and take the charge, going over there a little bit late. But once he has momentum going to the basket, he's going to take it and try to take it to the rim.
Well, you're going to have a cast of ex-Nuggets coming into the ball game. Eric Williams, Rafe LaFrentz, Tony Battie, all entering the contest now for Boston.
And Mark Blunt leaves the game. He's been a year or plus with the Denver Nuggets as well.
There's Paul Pierce and Rafe LaFrentz, teammates at Kansas for 3 years. Carmelo, mid-range jumper, knocks it down. First hoop of the night for Anthony.
I still think if you can shoot that mid-range jumper, if you can shoot that 16 to 20 footer in this league, you're going to have some success.
Off to Rafe. You know he can shoot the basketball. Not this time. Leonard comes away with the basketball. He's thinking 3. Anthony. And the rebound of Miller. Carmelo's been hot from three-point range. 7 of 10 his last 3. And Camby draws contact. The foul's on Tony Battie. Will step aside for a moment. 5:59 to go in the opening quarter. The Nuggets leading 16-14. Marcus Camby owns half the points.
Spiro Ditas back with you from our NBA TV studios. An update for you. The game earlier today out at Staples Center. The Timberwolves wrapping up their 5-game trip. Game tied at 94. Kevin Garnett knocks it down over Elton Brand. Another look at it. The buzzer beater from KG as the Timberwolves will return to Minnesota, having won 4 of 5 out west. Just a huge trip for them, especially after that win on Friday night in Sacramento at Arco Arena over the Kings. Final score today over the Clippers, 96-94. 27 for Sprewell. Sam Cassell, 24 points. Corey Maggette with 26 to lead the Clippers in the loss. Right now, back to Denver. Your announcers, Drew Goodman and Scott Hastings.
play that has not been impressed, and that includes Nick Van Exel, who saw in the last couple of ball games.
Carmelo is the truth. He's going to be the truth for a while. I think it was a great pick by the Nuggets.
Well, our Lexus scouting report, last 3 seasons, this guy just wins, Scott. 32-1 his final year at the Oak Hill Academy. 30-5, the national championship for Jim Boeheim at Syracuse last year. And again, I keep coming back to this. I mean, he's good for 40 minutes, but you get late in basketball games, he wants the ball.
Doesn't know any better. And that's a good thing sometimes. And I think that winning is maybe not enough made of that. You know, especially when you're doing it at different levels at different places.
Tell you what, Pierce thought about shooting that. He was 5 feet behind the arc. Here's Eric Williams. And Williams gets his own miss, and it'll count. Williams was fouled. Bernie Fryer, former NBA player, now a longtime official, makes the call.
Well, you know, Denver right now getting out hustled. And to me, and we saw Jeff, and I don't know if you read his body language, you could tell he's a little bit concerned about this game. Denver's been, as we mentioned a while ago, the darlings in the newspaper. Boston's had a tough travel day. The Nuggets know about that. You wonder if they're able to come out with the same type of energy, and those make games like this very, very dangerous. Denver just gave up 3 offensive shots just on 1 possession. They've been a good rebounding team all year long.
Camby, free throw jumper, and Elson gets the rebound, and a loose ball foul on Boston. And it's on Williams. Nuggets feel they can have an advantage in a couple of areas. They believe they could drive the basketball against Boston because they don't have a true shot blocker. Their best shot blockers on the floor right now in LaFrance. Here's Leonard, kicks it to Anthony, 3 ball. And the rebound of Pierce. And Ray spins in a triple. And it's 2016 Boston.
Momentum.
Foul on Miller.
And momentum really going to the Nuggets, or excuse me, the Celtics' way right now. Hitting a couple shots, they're playing hard, forgetting about the fatigue. Denver settled for a couple jump shots, have gotten on the officials on a couple calls, and all the momentum, right calls or wrong calls, are going to go the Celtics' way.
Now 3-pointers, the Celtics knocking them down, including Rafe, who's always been a good 3-point shooter, as Williams misses, but he was 6 of 33 coming into the game from downtown. And Elson fouled by LaFrance.
Just got caught up. Elson giving Rafe a little bit of a look. What a great pass right there. See him go for the basketball, got a lot of body underneath, and then Elson's feet just got out from underneath him. But that's what Denver's got to do. They've got to run. They've got to start when they are in the half court, get into that block and post up.
Good Sunday night crowd for the Nuggets. Their attendance is up above 16,600 on average. They've already had a couple of sellouts this year. The best they've done at the gate since the 94-95 season, and it's only going to get better.
Denver 0 for 3 so far on free throws.
And they were terrific the other night. That's how they won the basketball game. Now 0 for 4. They were 25 of 32 from the line and knocking off Golden State, and they were 11 of 12 down the stretch. Here's Pierce turnaround. He's got it, and all of a sudden it's a 6-point Boston lead.
Well, you don't get up on somebody 29 if you're not pretty good, you know, and Celtics are pretty good.
Oh, last year they were in the second round of the playoffs in the East. Now they have 8 new players on the roster, and as you mentioned, Antoine Walker's gone, so it is a different team. Camby somehow draws the foul on LaFrance. It was not a good offensive sequence. That's 2 on LaFrance. Well, here comes energy. Chris Anderson. You know what? He needed a helmet the other night.
Oh, he's got one. Look at his hairdo.
Scott, you weren't at the ball game. This first crash and the second crash landing was in the space of 30 seconds.
Yeah. Very scary, and you can tell he's mad right there. But I'm telling you, look at his hair. Look at that thing. He's not going to hurt. It's like it's Dodd approved.
Speaking of hair, there's a Birdman fan. Let's check in with Sandy.
Well, during the game against Golden State, they sent the tape, the undercut by Cardinal. They sent the tape to the league, and now they're waiting on word back to see what will happen in response to that. So I guess maybe within the next couple of days, we'll get a word from New York. Guys?
All right, Sandy. Vashawn Leonard is trying to get the break going.
Denver right now being out hustled by the Celtics.
There's a little more energy right now with Boston. What a move, and that's interference, offensive interference. Chris Anderson, you can't grab the rim with one hand and reach with the other hand.
But I'm going to tell you what, and we just showed him getting undercut. That almost looked like a guy was scared. He was going for the tip. Watch him, he's a little bit off balance. He feels that bump. See him feel that bump. I think he grabbed the rim. Just flashing back to those 2 undercuts by Golden State.
You may be right. Marcus Banks is in the game for Boston. When he's out there, they try to run. And there's Pierce. He's got a dozen, and it's 25-17 Boston.
Right now,
Pierce dropped 45 on Denver last year at the Fleet Center. He averaged 38 in 2 matchups with the Nuggets last year.
He's probably still mad at Denver for not drafting him.
Well, you can be mad at 9 other teams for not drafting him. He went 10th in the draft, and Anderson doesn't make the catch.
The team, if you were to watch the first 3 minutes, there's a lot of basketball left here. But if you were to tell me which team was stuck in the airport for the last 24 hours, you'd say the team wearing the white jersey.
Well, they're about to get a wake-up call from their coach. They're down 10, 27-17. And they're getting outworked. Forget the airport, forget the weather in New England. Boston has lost 4 in a row, and they blew a 29-point lead in their last game. They're embarrassed.
Breaking the action in Denver, Celtics lead the Nuggets by 10. Let's get you caught up on some of the other highlights. Raptors at home earlier today for the Sonics. Morris Peterson in the corner, knocks down a 3-pointer, gives the Raptors a 1-point lead, 80-79, and then they would start to pull away. Final moments, Vince Carter, the pull-up over Ansu Cisse. Great game for Vince Carter along the perimeter in this game. Carter, 30 points to go along with his 6 assists. Right now, back to Denver, Nuggets, and the Celtics.
Welcome back to Pepsi Center. The Nuggets are fighting from behind. The Boston Celtics have gone on a 13-1 run. Perhaps the players are a little tired after being worked over yesterday. They did a little community service work. They went out to the Gold Crown Sports Complex and hung out with some Special Olympians. Each one of the players provided a station. You see Marcus Camby helping some kids with their shooting. Carmelo Anthony working on his ball handling skills. Vashawn Leonard, Earl Boykins, the entire team was on hand to work with more than 200 Special Olympians. And guys, it's so great not only to give back to the community, but to see these players up close and in person working with those who are less fortunate was really, really an eye-opener. Guys?
All right, Sandy, thanks very much.
Special Olympics, a great group.
Absolutely. Chris Anderson rolls to the basket. Rodney White didn't play the other night. He's out there right now. Earl Boykins, John Barry, Carmelo Anthony, and Anderson. Tony Battie lets fly. It's a 12-point deficit, and that's the largest deficit the Nuggets have faced at home this year. Cleveland was up 11 on them. Orlando up 11 on them. But the Nuggets 9-1 at home, and most of the time they've been way out in front.
But you want to run make or miss, but it's tougher to run off a make, and that's what Denver's done the last couple times.
And Anthony got his own miss and was fouled.
Personal foul number 55.
And it's on Eric Williams. That's 2 on Williams.
You know what? I like that by Carmelo Anthony. They've struggled. They've been stuck on 17 for 3 or 4 minutes. They're not doing anything. They don't have any energy. Let's don't set up for a jump shot. Let's get it to the basket. Let's try to get some free throws. Already time for the holiday shopping. We got a gift to get you out of your seat. The Nuggets holiday package features 10 great Nuggets games, including the Lakers, Raptors, and 76ers. The deal doesn't stop there. You get a free Crested Butte lift ticket with your 2-seat purchase. I love Crested Butte, by the way. Reserve the best seats in the house by calling 303-405-1212.
How about this from the line, Scott? 1 of 8. And the Nuggets not only get to the line better than most teams in the league, but they make their free throws normally. Here's a chance to run. Rodney White gives to Anthony, and he was fouled by Blunt.
Let me go back on your little free throw thing. That's a sign of concentration. And now, if you're a bad free throw shooting team, then you're a bad free throw shooting. But when you're 12th in the league, you shoot 76% as a team, which is pretty good. And you're going. That's concentration. I promise you, because I've been there. Trust me, I've done it. You know, I've been on teams that done it. Denver looked at the Celtics. They gave up a 29-point loss. They got a record that's below 500. They had to get stuck in Boston for you know, an entire day on in an airport. We're going to be able to run these guys out of the gym, and your concentration wanes just a little bit, and that's all it takes at this level.
I think you're absolutely right. 29-19. The Nuggets finally get off 17 with a minute and a half to go in the first quarter. And Denver, after tonight, will head on the road for 3 games. They'll go to the East if Baker lays it up and in. They'll take on Atlanta, Philadelphia, and New York.
That's a mismatch that Boston will try to exploit as long as it's there. Rodney White and Vin Baker.
Anthony from 20. That's a little bit short. One shot now for Denver. 31-19. And Eric Williams left alone inside, and the foul. Chris Anderson had to come over and help, and he'll get the ticket.
Number 12, Chris Anderson, his first personal.
Well, Denver's not running on one end, and they're getting beat on the other end. A little mismatch. No one really sure who's got Eric Williams. And Eric does as good a job, and we saw him here in Denver, of getting his body into people, creating the contact to get himself to the free throw line.
Ryan Bowen being called upon.
That just shows you what we're talking about, and that Denver and Jeff Bzdelik is trying to find a way to get some energy from this team. It is lifeless right now.
You know, earlier I said the Nuggets felt they had an advantage in a couple of areas. One was maybe driving the basketball, and Andre Miller, obviously a great driver when he's on the floor. The other place they felt they had a big advantage was off the bench as Rodney White hits. They think their bench, basically they think their bench is better than most benches in the league, and Boston's a little bit thin.
And I think a valid point.
We'll see if it's borne out, because the bench is on the floor right now for Denver.
Boy, what a nice job. Ryan Bowen. Ball goes into Welsh. He sinks to the ball. And I'm telling you what, he's not getting any credit for that, but I'm telling you that the drop step by Ryan Bowen down into the post when the ball went there helped cause that turnover.
Boykins working against Marcus Banks. He's the one who didn't handle the pass a moment ago. Here's White. Anderson was all alone. Here's John Barry firing a 3. And Anderson did enough. But the Nuggets will get the basketball as Blunt couldn't control it. 21 seconds left in the period. Jim O'Brien in his 4th season. He's 17 games over 500 in his Boston head coaching career. Not a lot of life with the Nuggets here in the opening 12 minutes, and thus not a lot of life with the fans.
Well, you only scored 21 points so far, but you give up 32.
Bowen. And the Nuggets did not get the shot they were looking for in that sequence. They gave up 32 points in the opening quarter. They have to play chase for a while. One chapter closed at Pepsi Center. 32-21.
One quarter complete between Boston and Denver. A chance for us to get you caught up on some of the other highlights from Sunday. Grizzlies home for the Portland Trailblazers. Bonzi Wells taking on his former team, Rasheed Wallace. The emphatic block against Pau Gasol. And then on the other side, they're able to finish inside as Portland is able to complete that play. But the Grizzlies too much down the stretch. Bonzi Wells hurting his former team. Memphis wins this game 93-79. Bonzi Wells, some pretty good numbers. 16 points, 5 rebounds. Pau Gasol led the Grizzlies in the win. 17 points and 12 boards. Zach Randolph 29 and 13 in the loss. Take you to Arco Arena. Brad Miller and the Kings still smarting from that devastating loss at home Friday night against the Timberwolves. Entertaining the Pacers today. Kenny Anderson dribbling underneath the reverse finish. Sacramento's lead down to 2. And then Mike Bibby, circus shot high off the glass. chance at 3 points, and this game right now is tied at 28. So the Pacers hanging tough, and Sacramento has actually taken a 2-point lead now. Up to the minute scoring here on NBA TV. It's 30-28. Jermaine O'Neal 10 points and 8 rebounds already, and Vlade Divac leading Sacramento so far. A reminder coming up tomorrow on NBA TV, more live game action. The Orlando Magic will try to avoid a 20th straight loss as they entertain the Phoenix Suns. It'll start at 7 p.m. Back out to Denver, the Celtics and the Nuggets.
Thirst quencher, Gatorade, is it in you? Well, here we go, second quarter at Pepsi Center. Rodney White on the floor. He's hit a shot. He's joined by John Barry, Earl Boykins, Ryan Bowen, and Chris Anderson. Vin Baker's out there, Yuri Welsh, Mark Blunt, Eric Williams, and Marcus Banks, the rookie from UNLV.
Now, one of our keys tonight was energy from the bench, and the way the first quarter went, Denver's going to need it.
Eric Williams allowed to navigate his way to the hoop. He's got 7. He's been averaging 11 points off the bench for Boston. 34-21.
Excuse me, during that Chris Anderson just backs away as opposed to going for the shot.
There's White from 16. He knocks it down. That's a big opportunity for Rodney White. Not only is he playing here in the first half, but he's playing with the Nuggets down.
We see that just 2 less field goals than Boston. They trail by 11, but they've missed 7 free throws already in this game. I mean, it's a close game. You just make your free throws.
Yeah, that is part of the story. Good block by Anderson. It comes to Williams, and Eric Williams has always been a guy that can get rebounds in traffic and get to the basket.
Well, he just outworked Rodney White for the ball.
And there's a steal by Banks. And Earl takes it back, comes to John Barry.
Good hustle by Earl Boykins.
Here comes Earl the other direction. Stop and...
Well, he gave it up, and that's a great sign of a nice basketball player. Gave it up on kind of a bad pass. Earl did, but didn't quit. Got the steal late, and then finishes with a basket.
And Bowen tried to reach around Williams, and Ken Mauer's going to give Riot Bowen his first personal.
Here, watch this from behind. This is what you teach. And a great job with the left hand. Saves it and then finishes. Just a little soft safety, little 17-foot jump shot.
Here's the help. And Blunt able to clean it up.
Yeah, it helped rotating to Williams, but then no one went to get anybody else's man.
And Anderson just lost the handle. Here's Banks. He can fly. And a foul on Earl Boykins.
But Denver is out of sorts, and Chris Anderson may have hurt himself.
It's his first personal, second team foul for the Nuggets.
We got to talk to Chris Anderson's hairdresser. I'm just telling you.
He's got a hairdresser?
Well, that or he has no light bulbs in his house.
And Welsh is fouled.
Every time Boston takes the ball to the rim, they are getting to the free throw line.
That's 2 on Bowen. And the Nuggets struggling offensively, and they're also struggling on the defensive end. The Celtics shooting 54%, and they're getting good looks and in some cases second opportunities. And that is not a Jeff Bzdelik basketball team. Pierce back in. He had 12 in the opening quarter. And the 14-point lead, the largest for Boston, as Nene comes back for Anderson.
Boston doing a good job getting back defensively and then stopping all penetration. Denver playing for the most part above the free throw line.
And a lot of one-on-one stuff. Rodney White, fortunately, a pretty good one-on-one player. He's hit 3 jumpers for 6. Denver needs to get some stops. Here's Pierce. Bowen's out on Pierce. Barry open on a wing. Here's a 3-ball. Nuggets need one. John Barry delivers.
That's the best percentage 3. Anytime you can get it to the lane and kick it out, whether it's into a post player or on a transition just like that one.
Now, Jim O'Brien senses a mini sense in change in momentum. And he calls a timeout. John Barry knocking down a triple. His 23rd of the year. And Denver's within 11. 9:19 to go in the second.
Spiro Ditas back with you from our NBA TV studios here in Secaucus, New Jersey. A slow start out in Denver for the Nuggets as they trail the Boston Celtics 40-29. Denver, of course, going for their first 7-game winning streak since December of 1989. As always, NBA TV is the place to be for live NBA game action. And tomorrow night, Monday on NBA TV, the Orlando Magic back in the friendly confines of the TD Waterhouse Center, but that building hasn't been too friendly over the first couple of weeks of the season. The Magic look to avoid a 20-game losing streak tomorrow night as the Phoenix Suns enter the building. They'll come in with, of course, Stephon Marbury. Amari Stoudemire, of course, will not be in action as he is back home in Phoenix nursing a badly sprained left ankle. Tip time tomorrow set for 7 p.m. Eastern time as we'll be on the air with NBA TV Live getting you set for all the action. Right now, back out to Denver, second quarter action, Celtics and the Nuggets.
Win number 14. Guys, let's get it back courtside.
No, Eddie Kennison, his team got blown out, though Eddie Kennison actually played pretty well. Got in the end zone today for Kansas City. 40-29 Boston.
Had a couple good catches. Marcus
Banks, 13th pick in the draft this year by Memphis. Came over in a draft day trade. Paul Pierce and the board grab. Here's Pierce with it again. Jump by Rodney White.
Changes pivot foot. Crowd wanting to travel. They're going to double Pierce, try to get the ball out of his hand. Didn't do it. Now you got him going 1-on-1.
He skips it to Banks. Shot's got to go up 2 on the shot clock, and Banks misses. Rodney White looking for an outlet. Here's Boykins. Earl pull up 3. He's got it.
That's just confidence right there. Not necessarily a good shot at what you want, the momentum of this game, but I tell you what, that's pure confidence. Boy, how much has he meant to this team?
A ton. Now the Nugget defense has picked up. Baker, line drive jumper, rattles and drops. Vin Baker with 6.
If Nene would have ran the wing that time, he had a layup.
White gives up the 3. Boykins, good look for White. And Rodney knocks it down again. No, there's never been a question, Scott, even last year. Never been a question about Rodney White's ability on that side of the floor.
You're exactly right. And he's shown that he can play defense when he puts his mind to it. But he takes too many plays off defensively. You know, whether resting on a rebound or whatever it might be. Stepping out when you're not supposed to. Giving up an easy jump shot.
Well, Baker hurting him right now because the rotation obviously is going to Paul Pierce. And Baker's been open 2 straight trips and hurt the Nuggets. 44-34. Earl trying to get around the corner. And a reaching foul on Baker.
Well, he talked about Carmelo Anthony wants the ball in the last second, not afraid to take a shot. This team was hanging on the vine a little bit, still down 10, but had absolutely no life and no energy. And Earl not afraid to come in and put it on his 5'5" shoulders and say, okay, let's go. I'll get you guys going a little bit.
Well, we've seen him do that a bunch in the 4th quarter already this year, and he did it last year in the 4th quarter for Golden State. Here's Vachon. He's taking just 1 shot. Rodney at 3. And Earl nearly with a steal, but Mike James comes away with it. 5 on 4. And Welsh off balance. He's been on fire. Welsh with 7.
Boston not afraid to get in a running game with Denver. Sloppy, nonchalant pass by Rodney White. Denver down 14.
Well, they had it down to 8. Anthony's getting ready to come back for Denver.
So they're getting one screen, and it becomes one-on-one basketball here in their half-court set.
And there's a steal. James, as Earl had it taken away.
And we said this early in the year, and Denver has been able to overcome it because they've gotten the games up plus 100. I think the last 6 games they've averaged over 108 points during this streak. But what Boston has turned them into this first half, the first 18 minutes of this game, is a half-court team, and once again the Achilles heel of the Denver Nuggets showing itself a little bit.
You know, I think maybe more disturbing to Jeff Bzdelik right now has been the defense. It was good for a few sequences there, but they've given up a lot of easy shots. They've been sloppy at times. And Boston shooting 55%. It'll go up as Paul Pierce hits again.
But you make a couple shots and you give a couple easy shots up, and then all of a sudden the team in green gets this huge confidence. Look at Denver. Denver pass, hold, 3 seconds. Hold.
Yep, another turnover. 16-point lead for Boston.
Boston got confidence.
Yep. That's why Paul Pierce took that shot. Here's John Barry racing in, and he's fouled. Timeout on the floor. Barry will have free throws when we come back. 50-34 Boston. 5:23 to go, second quarter at Pepsi Center.
Spiro Dedes back with you from our NBA TV studios in Secaucus. Lakers entertaining the Jazz. That was Karl Malone and Shaquille O'Neal honoring their teammate, suspended teammate Karl Malone, forced to sit this game out against his former club, the Utah Jazz. Devin George getting into it. Utah with an early 4-point lead. They build on that as Andre Kirilenko knifes through the defense. Nice hairdo from Andre. The Mohawk look for the young Jazz star. And Utah, look at their start. They lead the Lakers now by 7, 16-9. Right now, back out to Denver. Drew Goodman.
A good portion of the second quarter remaining. 50-34 Celtics. Here's our Coors Light league leaders. We take a look at the leading 3-point teams in the NBA by percentage. And Denver at 38% basically is third. Sacramento at 43%. Hughes picked up his 3-point shooting. Carmelo Anthony. He's 0 for 2 tonight, but 37% coming into the ball game.
Yeah, tonight they're just 1 of 5.
Well, they haven't threes tonight. They haven't hit free throws. 3 of 10 from the line. And as Scott mentioned, 1 of 5 from downtown. Boston's 4 of 7 from downtown. And John Barry doesn't miss. He's made 24 in a row. And Earl Boykins has made 16 in a row. Andre Miller, John Barry, Nene, Carmelo Anthony, and Rashawn Leonard. So a 3-guard lineup right now for Denver. Rafe LaFrentz back on the floor. Leonard's on Paul Pierce. Got a hand in his face. Doesn't matter. How did this guy go 10th in the draft, Scott? Will you explain that one to me?
Well, he wasn't a big scorer in Roy Williams' system in Kansas. I mean, he's a nice player, and you just don't know. You know, you just don't know. How does Michael Jordan drop it after what we saw he did in his career to the 3rd pick in the draft? I mean, that guy should have been 1 any year he gets drafted. Same type of system in North Carolina.
And a good box out by Tony Badie on Nene. 52-36. Celtics playing their game right now. They're hitting a lot of shots.
Yeah, and the last one was a pretty good defensive move by Deshaun, as is that one. But then he doesn't block out.
Well, he leaked out. And now Uri Welsh has it. Here's a steal by Miller. He read that pass to Badie. See if Andre can get one to Rashawn Leonard. He does. 18-footer. First hoop of the night for Leonard, who's averaged over his last 5 actually, 23.5 a game.
A lot of time left in this game, obviously not even halftime, but the last 4 minutes, you want to try to bring this thing down just a little bit.
Rafe drives, and he turns it over to Barry. Here's Anthony ahead of the field, and throw it down. And Denver has the lead, or the deficit to 12. 6 for Anthony. And another timeout for Boston. I like what Jim O'Brien's doing from a Celtics standpoint. Anytime there's even a mini run for Denver, he's going to try to suck the life out of it by calling a timeout. Clinton Portis being announced to the crowd a few moments ago. Not a bad day at the office. 218 yards rushing against the Chiefs. Zal Wilson also joins him. Keith Burns up there as well. Rod Smith, 218 yards, 5 touchdowns as the Broncos blow out the Chiefs to go to 8-5. And the Nuggets want to keep things going today for the Denver sports franchises. 52-40, they're down right now. Eric Williams steps in the lane and he's fouled. Carmelo Anthony raised his hand and he gets the foul. Hey kids, if you participate in the Safeway Read It program, you can meet Ryan Bowen of the Nuggets or Adam Foote of the Avs. Visit your local participating Safeway store and pick up your Read It calendar today.
388 yards in 2 games. Clinton Portis.
Yeah, he's special.
Of course, that game also can't be lost in that. Shannon Sharp gets his 800 catch in the NFL, which I think is 9th all time. Not bad for a tight end.
Yeah, most of any tight end. Gamby back out there. He scored the Nuggets' first 8 points. Carmelo has to give it up. 7 to shoot it. Nene cross court. Leonard gets a 3. Knocks it down. Nuggets skip it cross court. Vashawn Leonard hits the triple.
And a little different half court action in the sense that they had a little penetration. They got it inside. They kick it out. And we mentioned a while ago, best threes to shoot is when it goes inside to out, like that one.
And Nene gets the rebound. Outlet to Miller. Andre trying to push the tempo, trying to get in the paint. He does. Outside Leonard. Another 3 ball. Put that in the book as well.
Once again, inside penetration, kicking out. Best threes to shoot.
I thought it was a foul. It wasn't. Williams drives. That is a foul. The bucket will count. Eric Williams has been a thorn in the Nuggets side in this first half.
Sorry, Drew. That is, we told you about what he does. He gets a body on you, he gets the basket. Watch this. A little penetration, get in the lane. Look at the defense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kick out and you hit the 3. And then the next time down, Miller once again in the lane. All the defense kind of collapses. And there's Vashawn Leonard knocking down another tray. Williams trying to do it the old-fashioned way, can't get it done.
2 of 5 from the line for Eric Williams. Miller in deep again. Anthony was open. There's a foul on James. And Batia, I guess, because Tony gets the foul. With Scott Hastings and Sandy Williams. Scott also working a doubleheader. Got any voice left?
Barely, can you tell?
Yeah, well, you're hanging in there. He did about 9 hours of radio with the Broncos this afternoon.
Fun game to do, I'll tell you that. This is starting to turn fun. Well, Denver just still struggling from the free throw line. 5 of 13. You know, in the past, and you and I have been doing what Nuggets games since '94, I think. There would be games when they wouldn't get to the line 13 times the whole game. So they've done a better job this year of really getting to the line. And they've made it as a team 76%. But tonight, it is a struggle. And I think that comes from the concentration that they brought to the game.
55-47, 2.5 to go. Where this first half is gone, if the Nuggets can carve a little more out of it, it would be a pretty good success story. Down 16 at one point. Welsh drives, and he's allowed the red carpet treatment.
Well, that's bad. Nene over there could have taken a charge, backed away, could have gone for the blocked shot. Poor defense.
And Andre Miller takes a shot from Vin Baker. What do you think? Vin's melted down about 30 pounds.
Well, he got real happy, or got heavy. He had some great years in Milwaukee. Got traded to Seattle, and when a lot of his problems off the court problems started, he ballooned up. I guarantee he was probably 65 pounds heavier. He's about the size he was when he got into the league. Maybe still just a little heavier, but not much.
Here's Vashawn. He's been feeling it. Knocks it down again. 10 points for Leonard, all in the second quarter.
And Paul Pierce will take that as a challenge.
And there's a steal by Nene. He's got to beat Baker. He fumbles it once, and then he's fouled. I mean, Baker was ripping into him, and they finally blow the whistle.
Well, Baker was trying to foul him from the time of the steal, and we see Nene do this all the time. Just put the ball up, you get lazy with it, he'll take it. See, Baker tried to foul him there. Then Nene loses the ball. Then see Baker trying to grab him, and finally the foul ball.
Baker will go out. He's got 3 fouls, and LaFrentz will replace him. Nene with 2 points in the ball game and a couple of rebounds.
Now, as badly as we've talked about Denver playing offensively, they're about to get over that 50-point mark, which is kind of the magic number that you look for at halftime anyway. Defensively, a little better in the second quarter because they gave up 32 points in that first quarter. And they're back in the game. They have done what they needed to do. We mentioned it with 4 minutes to go, and they were down 14 to whittle this away, just make it manageable. Now just a 6-point lead. That's 2 baskets.
Andre Miller playing the D right now on Mike James. And there's nearly a steal. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Boy, Andre Miller quietly, and you always preface everything with quietly because of how he plays, but he does a job on both ends of the floor.
And Boykins has gotten a lot of publicity, and obviously Carmelo has gotten a lot of the publicity.
Welsh has killed the Nuggets in this first half. Uri Welsh with 14 points. He's hit 2 threes, and Blunt comes up with a steal. Nuggets down 9. 1:05 to go. And there's a steal by Miller. He'll put a fork in it. Leonard's wide open if they can find him. Now they do, and it's just too hot to pass. That's, Scott, didn't you find when you're playing one of the hardest passes to pick up that long bounce pass, because almost like a grass court in tennis, it skips.
Well, especially when you're trying to needle it and you try to keep it low to keep it underneath anybody's arms. And it's one of those ones you've got to get down lower before the ball even gets there.
11 turnovers for Denver. LaFrentz firing a 3. That's short. Anthony has it. 38 seconds to go.
Denver's had 2 straight turnovers on fast breaks.
Bo gets in the paint. Where's the call there? Here's Welsh, and he's going to blow the layup, but it's tapped in by Mike James. Nuggets getting out hustled.
Well, they had it to 6 points, and they get outscored 5 straight. They 2 turnovers on fast breaks, and then no hustle, and you don't run back on the transition the other way.
20-second timeout for Jeff Bzdelik. I mean, they really had a chance to at least keep it at 6, maybe even get it down beneath that, but instead it's gone the other direction.
Holiday shopping gets hot when you head down to the Pep Center Trading Company. Get personalized jerseys, game-used items, and all the top gear from Reebok, CCM, Roots for all your Nuggets, Avalanche, Mammoth, and Crush needs. They ship anywhere, and parking is absolutely free. Open daily through the holidays, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For information, 303-405-1301. I gotta give me one of them new Nuggets hats. I like the white ones. So if my family's at home watching tonight, so the white ones or those yellow ones. I like those yellow ones.
It's rather presumptuous of you. You're assuming they're going to buy you a Christmas gift.
Well, that is true. But if they're listening, Santa's listening, stocking stuffer.
Judy, you know what? I'll pitch in. I'll help out on that hat.
Denver one time in the first quarter outscored Boston 12-2 in the paint. Here in the second quarter, Boston has outscored Denver in the paint 14-2.
Now Jim O'Brien will counter with a 20-second timeout of his own. Final 16.9 in the first half, 62-51 Boston. Coming up, the Nuggets head east. Atlanta on Tuesday night. The Atlanta Hawks are struggling, though Abdur Rahim could score. Allen Iverson in Philadelphia Friday night, Fox Sports Net at 5 p.m. and then Saturday in the Big Apple, 5:30 on UPN 20 as the Nuggets take on Dikembe Mutombo, Antonio McDyess, and the Knicks. Antonio coming off the bench these days, trying to get his legs back, playing a little bit more each and every night. So he had 8 points, 5 rebounds in about 20 minutes. Last ball game for New York. But New York's under 500. Philadelphia just a game over 500. Atlanta's way under 500. So it'll be an interesting trip for Denver. But first things first, final 5 seconds of the first half. Boy, they're winding it way down. Here's Vachon. Locks it and gets the layup with a 1/10 of a second on the clock. You talk about patience. And that'll do it. So the Nuggets get the final 2 of the first half, and they carve that 11-point deficit down to 9. The Nuggets, a couple games under 500 when they're down at halftime. 62-53 Boston at Pepsi Center. You're watching Fox Sports Net, your home of the Nuggets. We'll get to the studio now.
Welcome back to our NBA TV studios here in Secaucus, New Jersey. I'm Spiro Ditas. A good game in Denver so far at the Pepsi Center between the Nuggets and the Celtics. Let's check out the first half box score for you. Boston jumping out in this game. They have been very good offensively. 62 first half points for the Celtics in this game. A 9-point advantage, 62-53, some of the high scores. Paul Pierce, 16 points, 3 rebounds. And look at the assist numbers for Pierce so far. And Yuri Welsh coming out of nowhere in this game. 14 points for the Celtics, and Eric Williams 13 and 3 on the other side of Deshaun Leonard. We talked about him with Bill Raftery in the pregame. Leonard, a streaky player for the Nuggets tonight, off to a good start, 12 points. Marcus Camby with 9 and 4 as he approaches a double-double. Carmelo Anthony limited to just 6 first half points.
So I got tickets to the game tomorrow night. I wasn't sure if you wanted to go.
Well, it doesn't sound like you want me to go.
What? Of course I want you to go. I just thought maybe, with the crowd and all that.
You'd probably have a better time with Gary.
Gary? No.
Why don't you ask Gary? And we'll hook up on Saturday.
Head cold. Here's Deshaun for 3. He drops it through. Nothing but the cords, and Denver's within 6 again.
So Leonard had 12 at half, 2 for 2 from the 3-point line. He got hot in that second quarter.
Pierce to Blunt, and the foul on Andre Miller. Sandy Williams a moment ago with one of the Nuggets assistants, T.R. Dunn.
Thanks a lot, TR. They have 3 players in double digits, including Paul Pierce. What's the game plan for the second half?
Well, we must come out and play better defensively. This is a good team, and with Paul Pierce, that's a player that's, he's able to get big numbers on any night at any time. So, collectively, we must do better on him as a team, and then, sort of do a good job with all those guys. I mean, they are all good ball players, and as a team, defensively, that's, what we do, and we have to do better. Rebound and run, of course, and, we'll see how it goes the second half, but defensively is what we need to get better.
All right. Thanks a lot, Coach. Guys, let's get it back courtside.
Oh, shit.
All right, Sandy. Here's Leonard making his way to the basket. Deshaun Leonard has taken over this game from a Nugget perspective offensively. He has 17.
Well, he's knocked a couple of 3 down, so now anytime they kick it back out to him, you're seeing the closeouts get a little bit out of control, and now he just penetrated on that one. And then terrible weak side held by Boston. Denver coming out, it seems anyway, in this quarter with a lot more energy.
Good D by Bo on Paul Pierce. Shot clock down to 3 and just hands it to the net. Here's Carmelo Anthony, one to beat. It's James. He's got a size advantage and he'll lay it in. Timeout coming from Boston. Denver has it down to 4. Carmelo's got 8. The Nuggets have picked up their energy, and they're getting the crowd involved. The great 6th man here at Pepsi Center. It's now 64-60. Here comes Boston. The Celtics had a 16-point lead in that first half. Nuggets last led 16-14. Pierce for 3, and it's chased down by Blunt.
Yeah, Camby done doing a good job blocking down underneath. The shot you want to take, Pierce a little off balance, kind of forced it.
And Pierce walked again. Here's James out of the corner. And Camby, it comes to Miller as Camby got a hand on it. Didn't it look like Pierce walked, Scott? Oh, what? How about that pass? Miller to Nene. 2-point game.
I tell you what, the crowd's starting to wake up with the Denver Nuggets.
Here's Welsh, and really slapped away.
Welsh had a good first half also, 14 points, 5 of 9 shooting. There's that fast break. Watch Miller. He just kind of looks to go left, boom. Then he slips back door and finishes. He's doing one of those dance routines we just saw during the break.
5 points, 9 assists for Miller in the game. Here's Welsh, and a good block. That's Carmelo Anthony. Here's Deshaun Leonard. Anthony's open. Pull up 3.
Tough shots. You don't have a lot of rebounders, but you kind of hard to question Leonard because he's been feeling it the last few minutes.
Welsh has been feeling it all game. He just hit a triple again. That's his third of the ball game.
See, that's a killer. When you miss a shot like that, they're able to get down on a kind of almost a fast break. You get outnumbered, and you get a wide open three.
Carmelo on a drive, offensive foul. That's 2 on Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo had his shoulder down a little bit when Welsh will flop a little bit. He gets there and watch, oh, I just fall. But when he got hurt is when he went backwards into his own teammates and caught one in the lower back.
Well, they call a 20-second timeout to get Welsh off the court, so they're out of 20-second timeouts. For more on tonight's game, look for Chris Thomason's complete report in tomorrow's Rocky Mountain News. Well, the Nuggets have won 7 straight at home. The last time they've won 7 straight overalls, they have a 6-game winning streak coming into tonight, was 14 years ago. And in fact, the current 6-game winning streak is the longest since 1991. Wow. And I was thinking back, Scott, because you played on that 91 team, and that was Paul Westhead's second year. You only won 24 games that year.
Yeah, it was the 6 games that Paul wisely started me.
We checked, and I think you're right. LaFrance, Williams, foul on Nene. That's 2 on Nene. I had him for 2. It's actually 3.
Well, it's a good call by the official. Nene's upset and because it's the outside official call, but he allowed the player to flash in front of him. Tough shot.
Real tough. That was a line drive jumper. Here's Miller off the rebound from Camby.
Paul Pierce has shot 3 shots in this half, and all 3 of them have been line drives.
That's a turnover, backcourt violation.
Those are called unforced turnovers.
Nuggets with 14 turnovers, they've forced just 8, and normally the Nuggets have it the other way around. The Nuggets are going to turn it over some because they're pushed the pace. However, most of their turnovers have been in the half court tonight, and they've only forced 8. Here's Pierce, and he gets to the bucket.
I tell you what, Denver's weak side defense has been absolutely non-existent. All game long, Boston's been able to just penetrate Pierce, working a little pick and roll, goes about, and absolutely no weak side defense.
10 on the shot clock. Leonard off to Anthony, now 6. Camby drives, gives it up, and Nene is fouled. Good late ball movement by Denver.
A foul on Rafe LaFrance, and Rafe looks like he's packed on a little muscle since his time with the Denver Nuggets. A little penetration. Rafe, you see the foul right there, making Nene earn it from the free throw line.
And since Nene came back from the groin injury, 5 ball games, averaging better than 14 points, almost 8 rebounds a ball game, shooting 61%. He's got 7 tonight. Earl Boykins will step back in. And I knew he wasn't going to take out Andre Miller because Andre's playing very well. Carmelo Anthony's going to come to the bench. And I think this had to do with the defensive sequence. Paul Pierce went right around Carmelo last time down the floor. 69-63. And Nene, the only one hitting free throws tonight. He's 4 of 4. Next game, Nuggets Tuesday night, Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Take on the Atlanta Hawks. Jason Terry, Sharif Abdur-Rahim. And that's out of bounds. That is off the leg of Mike James. So Denver will head up the floor, down just 5. Boykins in a rush. And he always runs up the floor like he's a day late for school. Here's Rashawn, and through his legs, which way? And Ken Maurer, the outside official, the farthest official from the action, says it's off Denver.
A little back door right there. Rashawn trying to dribble, goes to his legs. I think a good call by Ken Maurer.
Walter McCarty on the floor for the first time tonight. He's a three-point shooter despite being close to 7 feet. They're going to say that counts. Eric Williams.
Denver right now is spending way too much time complaining to the officials about every call and not enough time playing Jeff Bzdelik style of basketball. Now, Eric Williams, and we've mentioned this the third time I've mentioned it anyway, get his body into you, get you off of him with the shoulder, an elbow, whatever, draw the contact, and then shoot the basketball.
$15 for Williams. And Leonard splits the double team. Somebody's got to be open. Andre Miller cut off by Pierce. Celtics a pretty good half-court defensive team. Flop. And that's a flop, and Andre Miller gets ticketed.
Well, one of the problems is half-court offense is absolutely no execution. It's getting in somebody's hand and just let him go one-on-one. Now, not necessarily a really good call, but the momentum, and officials are follow momentum as well.
Yeah, they're influenced by what a team's doing. Here's Williams. He's going to get in the paint again. And, well, I was about to say going to be an easy 2 for Blunt, but he missed from point-blank range.
You got too many people right now. The only size you got is Nene and Kamek. And if those two go after a shot, get knocked out of the way off of a rebound or whatever, you had Miller, Leonard, and Boykins, all three just watching the ball. So you look at McCarty and Pierce, Williams, and Blunt, they got 4 rebounds.
And Williams, on his closeout, couldn't stop, and he runs into Leonard. I don't know if Vo got a knee in the quad or what it was, but he's shaken up.
If I'm Jim O'Brien right now, I have the Celtics. You got to work your offense and then crash the glass with this lineup that Denver has in it.
Yuri Welsh evidently is okay, and the second-year player from the Czech Republic will come back in. He was helped off the court earlier in this third quarter. Williams goes out. 14 on the shot clock. Denver down by 8. He got it down to 2 a couple of moments ago. Boykins has to go to work. 5 on the shot clock. Earl from 21, and the rebound to Nene.
Right there, Nene's just got to go to work. Get to the basket, quit holding the ball.
Leonard for 3. And Boykins has it. Here's Andre Miller. The Nuggets right now, at least on that sequence, couldn't make a shot.
That's when you want Nene, when he's got the basketball, to work something to the basket.
Pierce, and he drops one through. Pierce starting to heat up again. He's got 20.
But Denver not running right now and executing. Their execution in the half court is poor. Watch how long, every time a player catches the ball, how long they hold it.
Boykins. And James pulls it down. Rodney White, next whistle. Pierce pull up 3. You could see him trying to do that the whole way down the floor. He was setting the rhythm. Here's Miller on a drop. Good feet from Boykins. That's their first fast break points in a while.
Timeout, Boston.
Like Jim O'Brien, you said in the first half, he is managing the clock.
He is, but you know what? He's going to run out of timeouts. They're down to 2.
The NBA on ABC premieres Christmas Day.
The Nuggets dance team, a very popular attraction here at Pepsi Center.
I
don't know if people came to see that guy, though.
Well, I think, wasn't that Lou Personnel, our producer or director?
Yeah, it's went down Lou Personnel. Walter McCarty, he loves the 3. Walter McCarty, 6'10", in his 8th year out of Kentucky.
So this is as out of sorts as I've seen the Nuggets all year, home or away, really. Watch how long every pass and how long every player holds the basketball.
Keep waiting to see him get a life. And, Andre Miller had to throw one up. Unfortunately, he goes in. 9 for Andre.
And yet, as poorly and as critical as we seem to be, Denver's still in touch in this basketball game.
Yeah, they're still shooting 57% from the floor. It's really strange. Pierce spots up, knocks down another triple. 80-68. Boston from three-point range, 8 of 16. Well, the Nuggets caught in a half-court game. Not been able to run much in this third quarter. I mean, nobody's moving the ball. Rodney White will fire, and he hits.
Well, they made it, and that's a good thing. But watch how many passes are made. Hold the basketball. Pass, hold, and then how many one-on-one situations they have to have somebody come through with.
And a double Paul Pierce try to get it out of his hand. Skip it to James. McCarty's open. You got to run at him. And a runner by Andre Miller. He's in double figures with 11.
Nice job, Andre. Recognized no one's picking him up, trying to slow him down. Just takes it into the paint.
Here's Yuri Welsh on a drive, and he turns it over. White to Boykins. He's got to beat James. Nice layup with the left hand. 6-point game.
Once again, like we said, as critical as we seem to have been, there they are. They're right there in touch with the Celtics.
And this is where you hope the altitude, the travel kicks in. Well, Walter McCarty will have a three-point opportunity. The foul on Leonard.
They're stepping out, worried about, I think it was Paul Pierce who stepped out. You had two people flying at Pierce. You see Leonard and Miller both went outside. I'm not sure where the foul was. They called on Vachon.
Marcus Banks comes in, number 11 at the point. Williams and Welsh on the floor. McCarty's an atrocious free throw shooter, 35%. I mean, go figure. I mean, guy's a good three-point shooter and can't shoot from 15 feet. That's got to be a foul. Boykins was bumped in the air.
I tell you what, they called the foul on McCarty just a while ago with a lot less contact. Both same ref on both baselines.
Leonard, Williams really bumping each other in the paint. Wells trying to cross over. 8 to shoot. That's a foul. And is it a clear path foul? They're going to say it's on the side.
That's one of those calls right there. Great job by Andre Miller. This guy has got unbelievable hands. Watch as Welsh has got it out there, crosses over, puts it in his space. And boy, I'm telling you what.
That should have been a clear path foul. There's
look
the
at
bump. That should have been a foul also. You sound like hopeless homers right now. But,
well, you know what? We've been 10 years. We've been waiting for a good team. You betcha I'm going to be a homer.
Making its way to the hoop, and Nene was tied up inside. Only had one arm to work with, and the crowd saw that.
Not a very good job of refereeing right now.
Banks, Welsh, inside, 3-second violation. Well, a foul on Blunt.
We used to call those back in the 80s, the old proverbial makeup call. But
you know what? I've heard you call them in the 90s and now in the 21st century.
Yeah, they still got those too, right? 6-point game. Denver's still in it, still struggling. They just got to continue to compete, keep fighting through it.
And the foul on McCarty as Rodney White was trying to step upstairs.
And you know what? And pretty smart play by Rodney White, because you see him catch the ball in the air and then try to shoot it. Now they're going to say it's on the ground. He's in the air and actually shot the ball. Watch this. Boom, foul. He's trying to shoot it. Well, that is a bad call.
The Birdman's in. You're right. Rodney White wants an explanation.
He caught the ball.
Believe it.
That is a bad call. We just showed it to you. He caught it. He grabbed his arm. He's trying to get it up to the basket. Sometimes if you feel you're getting a short end of the stick officiating, you can do one of two things. You can complain and cry about it, or you can do something about it, get mad and play that much harder.
You know, and interestingly, I was watching Jeff Bzdelik the last couple of times. And I think that's his mindset right now. Just play. Forget about the officiating. Just play. Williams rejected by Anderson. You know, that's one of those situations, honestly. There was probably some contact there. They could have blown the whistle. They stay off the whistle. 9 on the shot clock.
Good. Now, that's good weak side defense. And the one thing Anderson can do is jump. That really wasn't his jumping ability. That's great hands and timing, if you will. He just reached over and caught the ball.
Williams against Rodney White. And that will count. Two on the shot clock, and Eric Williams has enjoyed his return to Denver. He's got 17.
Williams does a great job. Watch this little step through, I think. Right there, see, he draws the contact right there, see? I don't know where the foul is.
He shorted Williams a point. He's got 18.
But see how he reverse step and drew that ball through, and I guess they're calling the foul when he drew the ball through. If so, then it's on the ground and not on the shot. I think I've been pretty good on the officials this year, but this is about as poorly officiated game as we've witnessed. I've been pretty good this year, I think.
You've been pretty good. And timeout.
Timeout, Denver.
9-point deficit with 1:11 to go. Give Boston credit. Every time the Nuggets run back at the Celtics and get it down to 6 or to 4, they had it to 2 earlier in the quarter. Boston has an answer. Coming this February, Matt Kenseth looks to defend his points title as the world's best drivers return to Fox for 17 weeks of high-speed thrills, bumper-to-bumper racing and excitement. NASCAR returns to Fox this February. Nuggets 9-1 on their home floor, and their average margin of victory 12 points. Will they be able to overcome a double-digit deficit in this game that they have faced through a good portion of the contest? They're down by 9 right now.
Yeah, you got to keep your head, because you know, we've talked about the learning process and learning your teammates and learning how to play and learning what you want to do. Still got 76. You know, you're still okay. You're in touch with the team. You get some calls that you don't really like. You got to fight through all of that. You got to start executing. And Denver in the next 13 minutes and 11 seconds has got to find the running game. And it's got to be 5 players. It's not been 5. It's been 1. It's been 1 and 2, maybe 3, but they've not had the whole team out flying.
Nuggets giving up 2 30-point quarters in this game.
Well, they've...
John Barry's in there, Anderson, White, Miller, and Boykins. 1:11 left in the third. And they get it in, and the hoop is made by Miller. Good pass, Anderson to Miller, who had a little bit of a size advantage on Mike James. Andre with 8 here in the third. Banks.
Earl's got to stay in front. Did a nice job of cutting Banks' penetration. And then as Banks kind of swept back around, he just stayed too far away.
Well, that's going to put the Celtics over the limit, so Boykins will go to the line.
His first personal 15 foul for the Celtics.
Earl with 9 points in the game.
So what, you got to give the Celtics a lot of credit. And we documented their travel woes with that huge nor'easter that's flown into the Boston area. Another 10 inches expected possibly today and tonight.
Is that amazing?
So for them to be stuck on the tarmac basically for what, 6 or 7 hours yesterday and not being able to fly out, and then flying out, was it 10 o'clock Boston time today, finally got out.
They have played well. When was the last time, Scott, late in the third quarter, you looked up and you said, okay, the Nuggets are shooting 60%, actually a little better than that, yet they're down by 7 points.
Well, the defense stayed home tonight is the problem with that.
Williams and Petit had his hands on it. 7 seconds on the shot clock for Boston. 27 left in the quarter.
Miller just saved 2 points.
D by White. Loose basketball. Nuggets scramble that time. Now they're going to hold on for the final look of the quarter.
And a chance to get it to within 5 going into the 4th.
Miller being defended by Mike James. And the double him. Rodney, good look at a 3. Put it in the book. And that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. So the Nuggets with a late run. They overcome the damage Eric Williams has done, and they're within 4 heading off to the 4th quarter. You're watching Fox Sports Net, your home of Nuggets basketball all season long. A whole lot warmer in Denver, Colorado than it is in Boston, Massachusetts. And inside Pepsi Center, 36 minutes of basketball done with Scott Hastings and Sandy Williams. I'm Drew Goodman. And the scoreboard reads 87-83 Celtics. But the Nuggets came on late in the 3rd. Scott, I think it's one of those deals if the Nuggets can just out-energy Boston in the 4th, they should be able to win this basketball game.
And they got an opportunity. Carmelo Anthony back in the game.
And Rodney White misses to start the 4th. Rodney's had a good ball game. Offensively, he's got 13. Banks, that looked like a carry. And Banks gets all the way to the bucket.
How many layups, just one-on-one, is Denver giving up defensively? They got it to 4 at the end of the quarter. They cannot afford to just give up 3 or 4 easy baskets and then fight and claw the entire 4th quarter. Too much energy.
Here's White, open again. And the rebound, Eric Williams. Denver down by 6. They're 1-5 when they trail after 3 quarters this year. Pierce, double team. Barry nearly came up with a steal. And a timeout. And that's interesting because now Boston's down to 1 timeout with 11:07 left. I mean, you never mention timeouts in an NBA game. It's something you mention in college basketball game. But that may be a factor in this game. We'll see. 89-83. Marcus Banks, Eric Williams, and Tony Petit. Pierce. Here's Barry with some room. Pull up 3. And the rebound of Carmelo Anthony.
Now, the difference between that 3 than the one that Vachon shot in that 2nd quarter or early that 3rd quarter was you had 3 or 4 Nuggets back to get an offensive rebound.
Anthony over McCarty. And Banks in the middle of the paint.
Carmelo kind of settling right now for the jump shot. Carmelo maybe posting up, but we've not seen that much tonight either.
It's kind of been quiet. 3 of 9, 8.7 rebounds for Anthony in the game. He has 1 hoop in the 2nd half. But we have seen him explode in 4th quarters already this year on a number of occasions. 8 to shoot it. Here's Carmelo left alone on a wing. And Carmelo explodes to the hoop and lays it in. He beat the double team.
That's why I like Carmelo Anthony. He can really get to the basket. And I like him on the post-ups. We talked about that in the pregame show.
Now Pierce could seal inside. 25 in the game for Paul Pierce.
A little offensive pass interference on Pierce. Got very clear. Able to catch it and lay it up. Well, he's a good player, though.
One of the best in the game. White needs help. Anderson with 6 to shoot it. They'll give him that. And Chris delivers. First hoop of the night for Anderson. It comes on a jumper of all things. 91-87.
Now you want a defensive stop if you're the Nuggets.
And they're going to call a foul on Rodney White.
Carmelo just a while ago, you like him when he gets the ball in his hands and penetrates. Watch this. Watch the double team try to come up and cut him off right there. A little slow. McCarty actually left his feet, didn't cut the baseline off, and Carmelo with a good finish.
John Barry has the assignment of Paul Pierce right now. And Pierce pulls it back down. James for 3, and he drops it through.
When Pierce went up to 1 foot, I couldn't tell if his pivot foot left the ground or not.
You know what's been amazing about Boston? Give them a lot of credit time. Every time the Nuggets have made a run, somebody has hit a shot for Boston. Here's White. He delivers. 15 for Rodney White.
Sometimes there's a certain number. Going back to what you're talking about, every time Denver makes a little run, Boston comes back. There's a certain number, whether it's 1 point, tie game, 2, whatever it might be, that they got to get the lead.
Anthony trying to beat McCarty to the hole. They'll go to the line. Crowd reacting to Chris Anderson's follow that did not count.
Rodney White getting a good laugh. Chris Anderson, the Birdman. Great steal by Anthony. Gets to the basket, gets the foul, nearly a 3-point play, and then the Birdman hanging on the rim.
You know what he does so well? I mean, he just really understands how to play basketball, but he protects the ball well, Scott.
Yeah, he really does. Talking about Carmelo Anthony. Gets to the basket. And we talked about a couple games ago, almost like a running back sometimes when he goes through traffic in the lane. The Birdman wearing the nest today.
And Carmelo with a dozen. 94-91. Well, you said it was 4 points. That seemed to be the barrier. They have it under that. Let's see if they can get another stop. Here comes the crowd. The T cuts. The T gets it back, and he blew a dunk. Remember that play. Here's Earl. Carmelo, 3-ball. Boy, they would have gone nuts if that went down.
I tell you what, he ran into the official on the sideline because Jim O'Brien was on the floor and bumped him into it.
Williams, White put a roof on it, jump ball.
Nice job. Energy really picking up in the arena. Williams, and a good call by the official. White stays down on the first pump fake. Boom, able to just get a hand on the ball.
Rodney's done a good job tonight for Denver.
Now you got to find a seal and a comfortable place for him to tip the basketball.
Which way? Ralph Boykins. Good play by Walter McCarty.
Well, they both had in mind to get the ball onto the other guy's body as their goal for it. McCarty just able to use his size, push it into Earl.
Pierce, Barry, I mean, he's all over. And then the block from Anthony. He's ahead of the field. Carmelo, the catch. Carmelo is fired. The basket. Oh, man. How did he hit that? How in the world did he hit that?
Boy, and this place is on its feet. Great outlet pass. Anthony blocked the shot. Rodney White just threw it out ahead, and then the body control, and then the finish.
Scott, it looked like he was almost underneath the hoop.
Well, that's just a guy that spent a lot of time on a basketball court shooting baskets from all sorts of angles. There's the contact, the foul, and the soft touch off the glass. Long times Denver's been tied.
Yep, Carmelo ties it up. The last time Denver was tied was the first quarter. They have not led since 16-14. And remember, who's leading the charge? Carmelo Anthony. Well, the Nuggets don't get over on the from the weak side to get a hand in the face of Banks. He gets the red carpet treatment.
Carmelo, oh, man. Forget about the move that got him to the baseline. The hesitation that froze Mark Blunt to allow him to go underneath him and dunk it. Oh, man.
Where did this kid come from?
A non-factor the first 3 quarters of the game.
Now, Paul Pierce.
I tell you what,
96.
if you're at home watching this, get the tub of popcorn, get it closer to you because it's going to go down the wire just like this. Watch this move. Watch this. Okay, gets by McCarty. Bad defensive player. Hesitated just a little bit to get by Blunt. and then finish with a dunk. Watch this little hesitation right here.
One defender.
Oh, boom.
Two, Scott. A third coming over. It didn't matter. Here's Miller. And Welsh has the rebound.
That is huge.
Here's Pierce.
That's Denver's defense on the weak side. That's Miller and Rodney White is just terrible. I mean, Pierce is going to do what he can do, and Barry's trying his best, but that is just terrible, terrible weak side defense.
196, 6:32 left. Paul Pierce, Carmelo Anthony. Boston by 4.
Spiro Dedes back with you from our NBA TV studios here in Secaucus, New Jersey. An entertaining finish to that game we've been watching here on NBA TV. In Denver, the Celtics in Boston and the Denver Nuggets. Rather, some other action to update you on. The Pacers now with a 1-point lead in Sacramento over the Kings. It's 84-83. Jermaine O'Neal, a double-double for the Pacers tonight as they conclude their West Coast trip. 20 points and 11 rebounds. Al Harrington, 16 and 8. On the other side, Peja Stojakovic, another great outing offensively. 25 points in the game. The other game currently in progress, the Lakers leading Utah 63-47. Back out to Denver.
Broncos aren't real sore, Mark, because there's a contingent of players that had a big part in today's win over Kansas City. Bobo game summary. Boston with a 16-point first half lead. Paul Pierce has done his thing. The Nuggets shooting 59%. And they're down. Still Miller, White, Anthony, Nene now, and Vashawn Leonard. And that is team foul number 4 on Boston. And on Eric Williams, it's number 4 as well.
You want to talk about how Denver, the Nuggets, have captured kind of the hearts of this city and other people. I was in the locker room after the Broncos game today. Guys talking after a huge win against Kansas City. You know, you guys going to the game, you guys go, I mean, they're already thinking about going to the basketball game.
And the Nuggets turn it over there.
With Miller on Pierce now. Too deep.
Williams has got to give it up. Back out to Pierce. Leonard has him this time. And Pierce has to give it up. Welsh forces a shot. It looks good. It is. Man, Yuri Welsh has really killed Denver tonight.
Well, I tell you what, and that's good defense. But you put yourself in a position, kind of losing the lead like this, that shots are going to be made by professional players. And that's a great shot. And you know what? That was great defense by Denver.
Five to shoot it. Now 3. Bo. A bit of a force, and the box out by Mark Blunt. Now Denver's got to dig in, down 6.
Well, you get a turnover and a terrible shot, 2 straight possessions.
Here's an open 3. James, he's hurt Denver. I mean, Boston at 52% from the floor, 10 of 19 from 3-point range. And they blow the lead back up to 9 with 5:06 left.
This game was tied at 96 all.
9-0 run by the Celtics.
In your expert opinion, who will be the next Dr. J?
Kevin Garnett is going to be the new Dr. J. I think Dirk Nowitzki is going to be the new Larry Bird.
Who's going to be the next Barkley?
Who?
TNT, NBA Thursday.
They flashed open for a moment. Miller still holding the basketball. He wants to get it to Anthony, could not. 10 to shoot it. Denver not moving the ball. Rodney White on a drive. Count the basket! Rodney White with a season-high 17.
They have to be a little frustrated on this possession. Nice job by Pierce keeping him from getting the ball, but a great drive and a great finish by Rodney White. There's a little contact right there. Chance for a 3-point play and to cut the lead. Well, Denver has just really struggled. 15 of 24 now from the free throw line in a 7-point game.
That's certainly part of the story. Williams left alone. Denver trying to get a little tempo here. Miller's in deep. And he was was looking for a foul call, didn't get it. Now Andre's got to get up. It's a 5-on-4. Here's Welsh. He misses, and the rebound, which way? It's going to go to Boston. I thought they were going to call a loose ball foul. How about Yuri Welsh? Yuri Welsh's career high coming into the ball game was 9 points. He has 19 tonight.
Well, he can shoot the basketball.
Well, he hasn't in the NBA yet till tonight. There's Williams. He has a season-high 19 tonight. Anthony gets the rebound. He shoves his buddy White out of the way. Here's a three. And Carmelo hasn't gotten one yet. Blunt. Which way are they going to call this? They're going to call it on Blunt. Free throws for Nene.
Blunt kind of doing the old blockout Dennis Rodman routine. Nene working, has position right here, turns. Look, he's just going to offensive lineman right there.
Shooting one and the penalty for 2.
Like a read down block. Nuggets normally a very good free throw shooting team. They have not been so far tonight, but Nene 4 of 4. He's got 8 points in the game, 4 rebounds. He's taken just 3 shots.
Every free throw important within a game, more so down the stretch. Down 6 with 4 minutes to go. We talked about last year, he can just continue to get better at that free throw line. How many more points a game he will average?
He's hit some crunch time free throws already this year. 105-100 at the 4-minute mark. So Denver has scored 4 in a row. Just 1 team foul on Denver. Boston's over the limit.
We talked about not a bunch of shot blockers for Boston inside. Then they only got 3 field goal attempts.
Williams. And which way? Oh, a block is called. You know what? Bernie Fryer, I think, was going to say offensive foul. But the underneath official, Ken Maurer, indicates block. Nene steps out.
He moved at the last second. He saw the penetration. He knew where he was. But watch, just a little bit as Williams tried to adjust his shot. Moved just a little bit. I mean, that's a call that could go either way. And you could justify it either way, but he moved just a little bit.
Eric Williams has played his game tonight. In his 9th year from Providence, he's gotten to the line 9 times already. This will be his 10th free throw coming up. Lead back to 7 for Boston. Nuggets again have not led since 16-14 in the first quarter. Here's White, and it's stripped from behind by Williams.
Reach around, no call.
Pierce drives, Williams, and a foul on Nene.
Boy, it sure looked like Eric Williams got that left arm out and pushed off just a little bit. Nene preventing the layup. Let's just reach around, knocks it away, starts the fast break for Boston. Nene stops penetration. She had left arm just a little bit. Denver just could never get over this hump.
And Boston's hung in there. They have not gotten fatigued. 3:22 left.
We said in the first quarter, sometimes when you have something extraordinary happen to you, this travel situation, you tend to actually play better because you know your concentration has to be that much stronger.
And he missed both. Nuggets catch a break.
And Boston's done a great job in defensive transition.
Yeah, just thinking that. Here's Miller working inside, and it goes out of bounds off the Celtics.
Miller really working to get the shot up to the glass, and you work so hard physically that you sometimes just overshoot it, and that's what happened.
Carmelo wants the basketball. The spacing's not there. Now Miller will try to create some space. Here comes the double team. A lot of contact. No whistle. Welsh. And a 3-second violation.
A lob into Carmelo this last play. Watch it. Pierce goes to the front. Miller sees it. Good lob. See if there's much contact. Little body there. No call. But you can't. You haven't got it all game.
Denver needs to convert here. Nene posting up on Blunt. Miller winds. Miller goes up and a whistle. This is what he did against Golden State on Friday night. He got himself to the line late in a very close basketball game. Both he and Anthony got to the line quite a bit in crunch time, and they delivered. 11 of 12 down the stretch to help the Nuggets win by 7.
Hey, let the Denver Nuggets make your birthday celebration unforgettable for only $25 a person. 10-person minimum. Each party goer receives a game ticket, a Nuggets mini basketball, and $10 concession voucher. The birthday honoree will also receive a Nuggets hat, a birthday message on the scoreboard, and have their picture taken at half court. If you want to book your birthday party, 303-405-1212.
107-102. Still a lot of time.
This won't go away, though. Lead now at 2:18 and counting. A couple stops. There's one.
There's one. Somebody's got to help Nene. Nobody came back. Here's White. He's going to fire a 3.
And no one went to the glass. Miller was right where the ball went to. Was actually going back up the field thinking it went in. Well, that'd have been huge.
Anthony doing a job on Paul Pierce. And it's staying. Carmelo just took it from Paul Pierce. He's thinking 3. Now he drives out of bounds as Eric Williams broke it up. They were trying to get it to Vashawn Leonard on the weak side.
Boston has done a great job transition defense. It looked like they had the edge and had a chance to get a break. Able to get a deflection and knock the ball out of bounds. No clean shot, no clean look for Denver.
Here's Vo. He hasn't shot it for a while. That's short. Now the clock is a factor. Inside 1.5 left. And Boston's going to milk it a little bit. Up by 5. Boy, Williams almost passed it to Pierce, who had left. Now it's down to 5. You got a rebound here. Williams for 3. And they didn't rebound. And Mark Blunt may have really hurt Denver's chances with that. A stick back to make it 109-102. Well, a couple of former Nuggets have hurt Denver tonight. Eric Williams and now Mark Blunt with just his 2nd field goal. Now, both teams have shot it well tonight. Boston at 50%. And maybe more importantly, 10 of 21 from 3-point range. And every time the Nuggets have made a run tonight, Boston has had an answer. And a moment ago was an offensive rebound by Mark Blunt, and he put it back in.
But playing like this, you wonder how Boston could be 7 and 12 coming into today's game. They have really weathered the storm. They've competed from the start.
Well, they got season best games from Eric Williams, from Uri Welsh, and they got another great performance from Paul Pierce. 29 points, 10 assists.
And Eric Williams, don't forget Eric Williams off the bench with 21.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. Eric Williams has a season best 21. Check in quickly with Sandy Williams. Sandy?
Drew, the first thing that Jeff reminded the guys is that this game is not over, so here offensively, look for them to go to the basket and try to draw a foul. Guys?
Here's Anthony trying to take Pierce, and that goes out of bounds.
Now, Anthony really has shown a little attitude in the last couple of timeouts. I don't know if he's mad at himself or Nene, but that was a tough pass for anybody to handle.
And a foul. That'll send Welsh. Well, actually, it's the first in the final 2. Rocky Mountain Sports Report next. 109-102. Denver, 6-game win streak on the line. 7-game home win streak on the line. You know, they're on the eve of a trip to the East. They wanted nothing more than to carry that win streak, obviously, and big-time momentum to Atlanta.
Well, if you go back and look at this game, and they'll have to foul it to try to get possession, hope Boston will miss. They're down 7. But this game, if in fact Denver goes on and to lose it, was lost in that first quarter. And Denver did not come out ready to play, scored 21, but worse yet was giving up 32 to Boston. And that kind of set the tone. And basically you've been the pursuer, for the last 36 minutes. And give Boston a lot of credit, because you mentioned just a while ago they have weathered the storm. I mean, runs all game long. And Jim O'Brien, I think, just an outstanding coaching game is when he sensed a little bit of a run, calling a timeout. I mean, he used his timeout.
He did it 3 times, and just mini runs. Denver would score 2 straight hoops, and he would call the timeout. Leonard will get to the line. Is it 2 or 3? That's the question. Maurer wants help on it. It is a 3-shot foul.
Well, Uri was with his hand straight up. That's what Jim O'Brien sitting there trying to demonstrate. The contact was created by Leonard. I always hated that call. Maybe a little break here for the Nuggets.
Well, Rafe LaFrentz tonight, just 13 minutes on the floor, 1 of 4, 3 points, 2 rebounds. He's battled some knee problems. Well, just seems like yesterday Rafe came into the league. Now he's in his 3rd NBA city.
Denver's got to deny, go for the steal, and then foul right away.
Well, they're going to foul James. He's a pretty good free throw shooter, but he's still a young kid in the league. Nuggets down by 6.
All those timeouts that the Celtics were taking during the game, they still have 1. Denver down to 20. I still go back to that game you and I called years and years ago at Old McNichols against Utah, when Denver scored 9 points in 8 seconds.
No, you have it wrong. Rodney Rogers scored 9 points in 8 seconds.
But it was phenomenal.
James goes 1 of 2.
Can't be afraid to share it. You can't think that you're the only one that can do this.
There's a 3 from White. It's down to 4. And one guy you really don't want to see shooting the free throws is Paul Pierce. You know he's got ice running through his veins. 31 points tonight for Pierce. Think about that draft class, Scott, for a moment. A few years ago, 5 years ago, when Pierce came out. Olowokandi went 1. Bibby went 2. LaFrentz went 3 as Pierce misses. Antoine Jamison goes 4. Carter goes 5. Tractor Trailer went 6. Jason Williams, originally was Sacramento, 7. Larry Hughes 8. Dirk Nowitzki 9. Then Paul Pierce. Bonzi Wells was after Pierce.
Other than Vince Carter and Nowitzki, I don't think I'd want anybody else.
Another 3 by White. Who knows? It's down at 2. And they get Mike James. And the undrafted 3rd-year pro from Duquesne may feel a little more heat now. It's a 2-point game. Rodney White, not Rodney Rogers. Rodney White has knocked down 2 straight triples.
And James and Wells kind of getting after each other after this. There's the first 3, put it within 4. Foul made it 1 free throw made 5. Here's the second 3, put it within 2. Now this crowd back in it. Toughest free throw is always that first one. But you still got basically 25 seconds. See if Boston doesn't stay up in the backcourt this time, so Denver not allowed to roll the ball up.
Yeah, these threes have changed everything. Give James credit. He knocks down the free throws. Here comes Leonard. You don't have to shoot a three here. Vachon knows that. Here's Carmelo. A lot of contact. Tap that. White has it. Carmelo taps at it. Now a lot of time going off the clock. It's down to 10. Man, that one hurt. I mean, that took about 14 seconds. The Nuggets underneath the hoop, batting at it, and they couldn't convert.
3 layups, 3 baskets. You know Boston's not going to try to foul you. So really just concentrate and go up. Could have got a foul there. No call on Pierce. Right here, Rodney just got to score that. No one's going to foul you. And then lucky Pierce doesn't get called for a travel right there as he falls backwards, slides across the floor. Boy, opportunities. The Nuggets will go back and look at this one. And like I said, that first quarter, they lost the game in that first quarter, but they have had some great opportunities. Doesn't help that they missed 9 free throws. But they had 31 assists and they shot 52%.
It's been a weird game. Nuggets down 4, 8 seconds left. I mean, things were really looking hopeful a few seconds ago. 25 seconds left, 4-point game, Scott. And you had 3 layup opportunities.
Well, it should have been a 2-point game in about 16 seconds on the clock with Pierce shooting these free throws. He missed a free throw a while ago. I'm not sure he'll miss another. He did.
Now you got to get him up quick. Nuggets have to get a 3. Leonard. John Barry, and it won't matter. And the Nuggets win streak of 6 is history. Their 7-game home winning streak is gone. The Boston Celtics, losers of 4 straight, from a snowstorm in New England to a victory in Denver, 116-111, the final. We'll come back to Pepsi Center in a moment. Let's get into the studio now. Chuck Garfien, Mark Soicher, all yours.